All right, let's take it to the White House now. President Donald Trump echoing the message from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, doubling down on the success of the U.S. attacks on Iran. The president touting the, quote, complete elimination of Iranian nuclear sites, while also accusing Democrats of leaking that intelligence report that suggested otherwise. In a post to social media, Trump says, quote, the Democrats are the ones who leaked the information on the, quote, perfect flight to the nuclear sites in Iran. They should be prosecuted. Let's bring in CBS News White House reporter Willie James Inman. Willie, great to see you. What more is the White House saying about these strikes today?
Hey there, Liz. Good to see you as well. Well, the White House is on the messaging front in terms of responding to that initial report that CBS and other outlets reported in the past couple of days that essentially said that Iran's nuclear program was set back by months. Now, we have received updated information from the intelligence community, essentially saying that Iran's nuclear program would take years to restart. We, of course, know that the U.S. is looking for a diplomatic conversation to take place with the Iranians. The president mentioned this in the past day. We don't yet know when those talks were scheduled, but the White House considering a range of options to bring the Iranians back to the table. But I want to play some sound and let's take a listen to what the press secretary said about this strike earlier today.
Despite agenda-driven leaks by the fake news media aimed at undermining this incredible accomplishment achieved by President Trump and our brave fighter pilots, there is broad consensus emerging already that Iran's nuclear capabilities were indeed destroyed. The United States, Israel, the United Nations, and even Iran all agree they can no longer build a nuclear weapon.
And the White House is also saying that no enriched uranium was moved. We did see some satellite images with trucks stationed outside some of those nuclear sites. The president mentioning that this was essentially workers putting concrete there on the site. The White House didn't get into specifics in terms of if that is new intelligence or what type of intelligence the president was using to make that assessment there. The press secretary, I should say, was asked about that in the briefing. And as the press secretary mentioned there, the White House and the Pentagon going after reporters, the president included, naming reporters, putting their name in social media posts, essentially putting some reporters on blast about reporting about this preliminary initial report, I should say, from the Defense Intelligence Agency, talking about the strike and its aftermath. I'll note that as CBS and other news outlets reported that this was preliminary information, but still nonetheless the White House going on the attack, specifically naming reporters by name with this reporting that came out just days ago, Liz.
And Willie, as we speak, the president's getting ready to host an event at the White House called the One Big Beautiful Event. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, this is for that one big beautiful bill that the president wants on his desk by July 4th. The White House remaining steadfast with that timeline, even though it will take days perhaps for the Senate to work out its differences, for the House to take up the bill yet again, because not all Republicans are in agreement in terms of the cuts and the tweaks that have been made to this bill since it moved to the Senate floor. Most notably, that would be cuts to Medicaid and other provisions within this bill. But the president highlighting those Americans who could potentially benefit from this legislation, those everyday workers like a DoorDash employee who is expected to speak at this event. No taxes on tips. Remember, that was a major key campaign promise from the president. He's hoping to get that across the finish line to help those hardworking Americans, the White House says, in terms of this legislation. So we expect that event to start any moment now. The press, as I last checked, just took a look behind me here at the White House, was waiting to go into the East Room for that event. We also anticipate the president to speak at that event as well, Liz.
Yeah, there's still a lot of holdouts, Willie. It'll be interesting to see if he actually makes that July 4th deadline. Willie James Inman, thanks so much.